Hey guys, Matt here from DCLblogger.com, episode number 4. Are we at 4? I think we're number 4. Okay. So in this episode, guys, I wanted to talk about in-game economies, and we're in a very interesting space at the moment because for the NFT projects such as whatever NFT project there is really, so anything built on the Ethereum that uses Ethereum currency or any cryptocurrency for in-game transfers or purchases of these assets, whether it be Gods Unchained cards, you can buy them with Ethereum, or whether it be Decentraland land that you can buy in Mana. Um, there's a very interesting formula at play here, right? We have Mana or Ethereum. Let's just talk about Mana. So Mana is an altcoin, just like every other coin, and you see it on CoinMarketCap, just like every other coin. Currently positioned, I think, number 99 or number 98. It's on the first page, and the Mana coin goes up and down, just like every other altcoin, and it's very strongly connected to the BTC pairing, right? BTC and Mana pairings are, I think it's like 40% of the volume at the moment. So whichever way BTC goes, that's the direction Mana generally tends to take. So if BTC shoots up, unless it's too fast, BTC suddenly swings up and down real quick, normally you see Mana take a bit of a hit. Ethereum is a similar case. But what I wanted to say, and the topic of this video, is let's kind of explore how assets increase in value, or how these type of fluctuations affect gameplay, value, attention, etc., etc. The way I see it, right, cryptocurrencies or the whole crypto umbrella is kind of built on people that want to get rich, basically. There's really just a handful of people that want to create businesses or want to create projects and want to really have that entrepreneurial spirit that's not just about making money. But a lot of people in crypto are really just in it to either be really early investors into something or get rich, whether it be to sell it, buy and sell it within a day or in a year from now. So that's the kind of mindset I'm assuming a lot of these people are kind of from, right? So in crypto as an umbrella, what I've noticed is attention seems to swing in the direction of whatever is growing in value at that time. So if Bitcoin has like a 20% day, then people will suddenly be like, holy crap, Bitcoin went up from 8,000 to 10,000. And suddenly you see these altcoins suffer a little bit as people kind of jump into Bitcoin. Sorry, got an itchy throat to talk a little bit slower. But yeah, we see these alts generally take a bit of a hit, right? Whichever way Bitcoin goes. Now, what's happened traditionally in the past for these NFT projects? Let's kind of take a look. We don't have that much data to go from, but let's kind of look at Decentraland and Gods Unchained, because these are the two that seem to have a lot of volume, and the two that I've just been tracking over the last couple of months for Gods Unchained and a couple of years for Decentraland. But we know that these Gods Unchained cards have gone up in value quite a lot since inception. So this is the top legendary card, went up from 0.2 to 0.4 fairly quickly, and then even 0.6. Right at the start of January, it was kind of at the 0.6, but something happened. Yes, something happened at around this time that kind of brought it slowly back down to earth. You could say that a lot of it is attributed to the fact that the pre-sale was over. But a lot of it, I think, and I'm going to go show you a little bit later too. So this is January as well. Start of January, you can see a decline in this card as well. I think, okay, you can also see the volume here generally. This is the overall volume for Gods Unchained. You can kind of see that December is all kind of good. We see some volume, a dip, etc., etc. But in kind of January onwards, we've seen a decline. I'm looking at the red line at the moment, not the blue or green, but the red over here. It's kind of slowed down, and it's kind of slowly going down more and more lower. But let's kind of look at what's happened to Ethereum. Surprise, surprise! At this exact time, you can kind of see, right? We've kind of had this slower trend, this bottoming that's happening over here, and then suddenly, right, in about the end of December, start of Jan, you kind of see a bit of an uptrend. You see some really interesting days where Ethereum goes up from 130 USD to 140, 150. We start to see 170, and over the last month, really, Ethereum's starting to go up, along with many other altcoins, right? So again, I kind of see cryptocurrency umbrella as kind of like a attention fight. You know, people, whichever seems to show progress or sudden jump in volume, high percentage gains over a course of a day or a week or a month, people start to FOMO in that direction. And it's the same kind of money. I feel it's the same kind of money moving around, whether it be in NFTs to altcoins, to Ethereum, to Bitcoin. There's not really that many new investors coming into that overall pool of investment, but it's the same money that kind of goes from, oh, let me just kind of put my land aside and suddenly jump into Bitcoin, or wow, Bitcoin's kind of gone up from 7,000 to 10,000, maybe I need to sell my land or my Gods Unchained cards and jump right back into there. Oh, wait a second, Gods Unchained seems to be picking up, let me sell my Bitcoin that's going down and jump in there. That seems to be what kind of happens. But it's interesting to see this sort of correlation, right? So we've only got about a good month's worth of data right here for Gods Unchained. We can't say exactly that that's the reason why this is happening, but we can see some sort of a correlation that there definitely has been a bit of a dip in the market, right? So you can see the OpenSea volume for Gods Unchained. And I did kind of predict a big spike in volume at the start and a slowdown after the pre-sale. But to be honest, I didn't really expect this much of a slowdown because you can see the volumes kind of dipped to 177 Ethereum. It's not too bad, you know. It's still kind of one of the top apps, but we've got Decentraland that is like 3 times that at the moment, and that's understandable because launch is coming soon. You've got CryptoVoxels, which is kind of eclipsing everyone. My Crypto Heroes, which is pretty stable at about 200 Ethereum plus. But I'm kind of seeing Gods Unchained go down every day. And I'm kind of thinking, is that got to do with only the pre-sale, you know, people coming off the pre-sale, or is it also got to do with the fact that Ethereum, the coin that's used to buy these assets, you know, your say that Medea's Muse card that you have, it's currently sitting at 0.35 Ethereum, right? And at 0.35 Ethereum, if I do some, let's just say 0.3 Ethereum, if I do some quick math in my head, let's just say I think Ethereum's at $200 at the moment. That's about 60 USD. Okay, 60 USD. But if you had over here when Ethereum was 130 USD and the card was still selling at 0.6, that's about 78 USD. So although it's dipped half in terms of Ethereum price, it's only dipped about 15%, quick math, 15% in terms of the fiat value. So it's interesting to see the correlation and the fact that whether or not, look, there's 2 types of people in crypto. There's those that want to get rich fiat wise and, you know, want to cash out their crypto earnings real quick and jump it back into fiat. Or there's people that have their crypto investments as something separate, and they don't really care if something goes down in terms of Ethereum value, in terms of fiat value, as long as Ethereum wise it's going up because people are long-term holders of Ethereum, right? So if they go from their Gods Unchained portfolio from being 100 Ethereum to 200 Ethereum, it's a win for them, even though fiat wise it might not change. Because they're hoping that when Ethereum does go crazy, then that 200 Ethereum, that new positioning in their portfolio is going to take them higher than obviously the 100 Ethereum. So let's kind of look at Decentraland as well. I know Decentraland, yeah, it has kind of gone up. You know, we know that land prices have gone up from 10,000 to 12,000 mana back in, I think, like September or October. It was sitting at about 10 to 12,000 mana. And now we're suddenly at around 15,000 plus mana, right? There's actually not that many around this range. There's only like a handful, really, like 12 to maybe 20, and suddenly you're hitting the 17,500 mana mark. But we have this really cool tool here called Metalith, and these guys have done like a land kind of price index that shows you the movement that's happening at the moment. So if we kind of choose, if we kind of select this as a monthly, and we have mana as a base, mana being the base price, you can kind of see the direction that this is taking. What if we do it quarterly? Right, so we had a time back in 2019, so the end of 2018, when land prices were pretty expensive, right? And then they kind of dipped over that quarter. It kind of took a big nosedive, and it dipped like 20%, went down, say 15,000 back to about 10 to 11,000 mana. So these numbers are kind of the formula for kind of tracking the overall trend in the market. So don't try and match these up with mana. We're just using mana as a base at the moment, right now. So this is just telling you the price movement in terms of mana, right? So we're seeing, we saw that it kind of fell in that quarter of early 2019, and slowly picked up ever since then in terms of mana. So if you're a mana holder or someone that's interested in increasing your altcoin portfolio, and that's someone like me, because I love to increase my altcoin portfolio. I like to make money in mana, and I diversify that with Ethereum and Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, because I'm banking on another bull run. It doesn't have to be a crazy bull run, but even if we go 2 to 3 times from now, if I can reposition my altcoin portfolio to be worth a lot more in terms of altcoins, and when it gains in terms of fiat, I'll do pretty well, right? That has been my goal. But we've kind of seen a mana base been really good. So let's kind of switch this to, I think, if I'm not mistaken, this is a US dollar base. So you can kind of see in terms of USD, all right. So I've kind of unclicked this mana. I'm pretty confident it's USD. Let's just take it as USD. But fiat-wise, land prices have dipped. They have dipped because at the end of the day, mana has gone down, right? Mana over the last course of most of 2018, mana was doing really, really well, and that was when Bitcoin had fallen from 20,000 and it was kind of trending in between 6 to 3,000, and we had that slow period in BTC. But mana was doing great then because there was a lot of activity and a lot of altcoins were kind of stabilizing and doing well. But the moment Bitcoin started to show some aggressive movements early 2019, you can kind of see a downtrend ever since that time, right? It's only recently where we're starting to see some sort of upward movement. But there's been a downtrend ever since BTC has gone down, and we've had some moments where mana's had 18-cent days, 25 cents it reached at a certain point. Sometimes I think one of the pumps it reached like 40 cents. It went crazy, right? So there has been times where we've seen, so land prices overall, or the land direction overall in terms of fiat would have been down. So if you've held your land at 10,000 mana, and it's gone up 15,000 mana at say from end of 2018 to right now, you might not have seen a gain. In fact, you would have probably seen a loss of about 40% in terms of your fiat. So it really depends which direction you're in, but there's an interesting correlation here that's happening, and we have a bit more data with Decentraland because as mana prices have gone down, so has the asset price. But in terms of mana, the asset has continued to grow, right? Because we've had, from 1,000 during the auction to about 4,000 straight after auction to about 8,000 about 6 to 8 months after the auction, and then 10,000, 12,000, and then now 15,000. So it's continued to grow. And if mana ever goes back up to even just say 10 cents, then suddenly we're looking at a crazy graph that's going to be back up here again. But this is just a little bit of data that we've been able to collate, and it's kind of given us a bit more indication as to what's been going on. But unlike Blue Party Hats or unlike RuneScape or other projects that don't really have a cryptocurrency that runs them, it's kind of a good thing because for them, there is a stable pegged value for their in-game currency, right? And that way you know that whatever you've invested in, it's going to continue to go up in terms of fiat. But with projects that are kind of releasing an in-game currency, and I think Axie Infinity are doing a similar thing, although it might be pegged to USD, I'm not 100% sure. But there are other games out there that are kind of experimenting with either pegging their in-game currency with a stable coin, or is it better to kind of let people decide what the price of this is going to be? Because you can imagine if you're in Decentraland and you're making transactions in mana, suddenly mana goes from 10 cents to 50 cents that day. What's going to happen? Are people going to continue making those in-game transactions? Are they going to stop? Is that volume going to start to decrease as people jump into selling mana on the exchange? Or there's just so much movement around here. So like I said before, the formula is very complicated, right? The price of land is going up in mana, but mana is connected to BTC, and BTC is connected to fiat. BTC swings widely, so mana swings with it. So how's land going to react? It's all a big cluster at the moment. But anyway, just some words on exploring some data that we have in terms of what the movements are. I know like when I kind of just view it as an overall umbrella of who's kind of the attention, where's the spotlight on at the moment, and everyone in crypto seems to move in that direction. If the good thing is that NFTs are a very small percentage of the overall crypto market. So if there's any sort of attention being given to any NFT projects, then there's going to be so much money flooding in. It's going to be insane. I don't think we'll ever see I don't think we have seen something that crazy since even pre 2017, because the market's so small right now for NFTs. It collectively does such a small volume, and people in cryptocurrencies as a whole is much, much larger, right? And people outside of cryptocurrencies are like even more larger. So we're at such early stages that if there is any sort of mainstream news on this stuff, then I think we're going to see things go really crazy. All right, guys, that's it. Just wanted to put some words out there on exploring how currencies are working in game, whether they be connected to altcoins or cryptocurrencies or stablecoin. But I'll see you in another video.